orange man has single-handedly made Canada great again.
I have to admit it, Donald Trump has accomplished something he set out to do. He promised to make a country great again, and he's done it. But unfortunately, it's not America, it's Canada.
The orange man has single-handedly made Canada great again. You can say that again. Canada is one of the most amazing and beautiful country with beautiful people. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in and subscribing to my channel, sharing my videos. God bless you. I love you so much. Good people, you know. God bless Canada every time. The orange one.
What he's done in his first month and a half in office has made Canada more unified together than it ever has been before.
That's an amazing thing. Look at how Canadians have united. Look at how they have united unanimously. They boycotted American products. Ladies and gentlemen, Canada, one time, one day, will be the superpower of the nations. Nations among nations. Hey.
Across the country, they've all come together. They're waving the flags. They've boycotted American vacations and goods, and they're buying only Canadian items. They are completely unified against what Donald Trump has been doing to them in a way that, quite frankly, they probably wouldn't have even known possible before Trump took office. So Donald Trump can make a country great again. He can make a couple countries great again. But unfortunately, one of them isn't the United States, as we're absolutely crumbling by his own design. So Donald Trump, he's made Canada great again, and he's also working hard to help Vladimir Putin make Russia great again. So Donald Trump, you failed here, but you're making some places across the world great again. And that's what it is. Throw me a follow.
Donald Trump, he thought that he was hurting Canada, but he was hurting himself. You see, when you punch a wall, you hurt your fist. You don't hurt the wall. It is your fist that you are punching. So Donald Trump thought, oh, if I take these steps and try to hurt Canada, I'm gonna hurt Canada. But look at what is happening. He's hurting United States of America, his own country. Hey.
This comment right here is what's so interesting to me, because I've lived in both countries. A lot of Canadians telling me that America isn't free haven't even actually spent meaningful time there. Look, neither country is perfect, but over the last few years, and especially during COVID, Canada showed just exactly how much power government is willing to exercise over its everyday citizens. We saw mandates, restrictions, travel limitations, and eventually even bank accounts being frozen during a political protest, a peaceful one. Whether you agree with the trucker convoy or not isn't even the point. The point is, a lot of Canadians watched what happened and started asking one simple question. How much power should government actually have over ordinary citizens?
Yes, I agree. No country is perfect. But if right now you ask most people between Canada and America, which is the best selections or which is the best choice that they will make, trust me, they will choose Canada every day, every time. Yeah, and during COVID, all countries were on lockdown. Almost every other country was on lockdown. There was so much restrictions of movement from one place to another because of COVID-19. So it was not just happening in Canada, it was happening in almost every other nation, almost every other country. So you cannot put this entirely on just Canada, ladies and gentlemen. But from the way I'm looking at it right now, if you want to travel, go to Canada. Hey.
And when Americans talk about freedoms, they're actually talking about constitutional protections. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, protection from unreasonable government intrusion, and a culture that has always been skeptical of any government power. You don't have to agree with that view, but after living in both countries, I can tell you this. The differences are a lot bigger than most Canadians realize. And that's one of the reasons we're making this big move. We're a family of 5 moving from Canada to the United States and documenting the entire process as we live through it. Follow along for more.
Either way, I love Canada. Right now, moving around in the United States of America is so hard. Even when you have full documents, even when you are legally there, just walking around is hectic. Just walking around is dangerous. Even if you have all the documents, you might be detained. They can detain you or put you somewhere else or even mistakenly deport you, and you have all the legal documents. It has happened to a lot of people. Just recently there was some Canadians that were detained wrongfully, and they were there legally. They had everything. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, right now the most safest country is Canada. Someone tried to judge me because of my accent. Don't judge me because of my accent. You don't know where I am. I might be your next door neighbor. I might be living in Canada and you don't even know. Right? Melanie Trump herself, she doesn't sound like an American. She doesn't speak like an American. She has an accent that is not of American, not of Canadian. Yeah.
So I've canceled my next trip to the United States. I was meant to be going there in later April. I was looking forward to it as well, like going to Boston, New England, beautiful places, lovely people. In fact, I even have both friends and actually some relatives in Maine, but I've canceled it because ICE or whatever the hell it is detaining people. I mean, they detained a young Canadian.
Look at that. What is that? That is the gratitude Donald Trump is showing to the Canadians. That is the gratitude that Donald Trump is showing to Canadian people, detaining them, wrongfully detaining Canadian people. After all this time, Donald Trump saw it fit to detain even Canadian people, and you want the Canadians to express the same love to Donald Trump. No, I know. This has nothing to do with Americans. Americans, they're nice. They're cool. Most of them. Maybe they are inviting. The problem is Donald Trump. Donald Trump, that's where the problem is. The orange man is making life so difficult, so hard for a lot of Canadians. Ladies and gentlemen, I myself, I love Canadian. I love Canadian people. Very nice, good people. They don't deserve this kind of treatment.
For 10 days. They apparently arrested a bunch of Germans recently. They're going through people's phones. Like, this is meant to be the United States is meant to be the beacon of democracy and freedom and so forth. Well, it is anything but. This is what fascism actually looks like. It is awful in North Korea, and it is awful in Saudi Arabia, and it is awful in Iran. So we can all be honest about that. But when that sort of thing settles in to what we consider to be the free world, that is the erosion of any value that we actually stand for. So I bring business to the United States, right? I run tours. Well, I'm not going to now. It's shocking, but I woke up 3 days in a row worrying about flying down there. And then I talked to someone I know kind of on the inside who said, don't fly in if you're not an American citizen. Like, this is how terrible it is at the moment. So it's sad and it's shocking. But hey, I'm off to Europe in a few days. I can fly down to South America, a lot of beautiful places. And American friends are welcome up here. Absolutely. But if you're going to come up and wave a Trump flag, then, don't bother.
Nobody want to see any Trump flag flying around. No one wants to see any MAGA hat flying around. Nobody wants to hear, oh, I'm a Trump supporter. Oh, what do you think about Trump? Oh, I'm a MAGA supporter. Look at what is happening in Denmark, in Greenland. They don't want to hear someone called Donald Trump. This guy is making wars with almost everyone. He's almost fighting everyone. Donald Trump is fighting right, left, center, almost everyone. Everyone that he doesn't agree with, including Denmark. Right now he's taking his war to Canada, out of all the places. And I'm so happy that the beautiful Canada is forming alliances with other nations outside the United States of America. Australia, all these other nations, ladies and gentlemen, they, including Sweden, they are forming alliances with Canada right now.
We're going to look at why Australia chose Canada before the United States, how that partnership quietly shapes the world you live in now, and what almost everyone misunderstood about a story the headlines told.
Australia is forming new alliances, super new alliances with Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, they are forming great partnership. They are forming great bilateral relationship between those two countries, and it's going to be so amazing, ladies and gentlemen. I love the fact that Canada is winning at this, and I also love the fact that Canada is forming alliances with other nations. Some people thought that, Canada will never survive without the United States of America. I don't think so. And I wish one day, Canada should be the superpower of this world. Yes.
If you could only choose one, would you rather your country build alliances with the loudest power or with the most quietly reliable one? Canadians, Australians, anyone watching, leave your thoughts below. Let's have a healthy debate, and sometimes the best insights come from just outside the official story,
At this point, I'm telling you, most Canadians will choose Australia anytime, any day. Trust me. The way Canadians feel about United States of America right now, they will choose Australia. Yeah.
We're not going to America. We're not spending our money there. It's Canada first, baby.
On social media, Canadians are loud and proud about boycotting trips to the U.S.
Flights, accommodation.
Michelle Porter is among them. She had a Florida trip for herself and 6 family members all booked. But Donald Trump's tariff threats changed everything.
I just canceled it.
Canceled a 2-week vacation, including flights, accommodations, and Disney World tickets. Thanks to insurance, she got most of her money back, but she lost about $1,300 U.S. and says she has no regrets.
As Canadians, that we need to stick together and as unity, and I raise my children to feel the same, be proud Canadian.
For Canadians, the U.S. has long been a popular destination. According to the U.S. Travel Association, visitors from Canada topped the list last year, with more than 20 million visits. It warns that just a 10% dip in these trips could mean a loss of $2.1 billion. WestJet has already seen a 25% drop for U.S. travel since Donald Trump's tariff threat. Come March, Air Canada will reduce its capacity for some flights south of the border. Travel agencies are adjusting too.
We've looked at our numbers and we're about 40% less over last year, 40% less bookings to the U.S. for leisure travel.
He says customers are also questioning flying with U.S. airlines at all. That's true of this Canadian couple now selling their property in California.
When we go down there to finalize the sale, we'll be flying out of Toronto on a Canadian airline. That's not necessarily cheaper for us, but I'm intentionally avoiding anything I can that's going to put money in the pockets of that system, I guess.
And even if the tariffs never materialize,
I will not go to the United States while Donald Trump is in power.
And Erica, it is not just Michelle Porter. A survey released this week found nearly half of Canadian travelers were less likely to visit the U.S.
Okay. Of course, Magda, this is part of a broader movement among Canadians.
Yeah, from choosing Canadian groceries to pouring California wine down the drain to booing the American national anthem. Since Trump announced that 25% tariff, Canadians are looking for ways to voice their displeasure with the U.S. administration. And tomorrow we may see another display of patriotism with former prime ministers and politicians encouraging Canadians to fly a Canadian flag.
All right. Thanks for this, Magda. Magda Gabriselassie in Toronto.
I love the steps that Canadians are taking. I love the steps that Canadian people are doing to protect what they have. How can you offer tariffs to Canadians. How can you even detain Canadians in the United States of America? And then you expect that Canadians will not retaliate. You expect that Canadians will not fight back. No, you don't play around. They're very nice. They're very kind. Canadians are very nice and they are very kind people. But that is not a show of weakness. Don't be mistaken that Canadians are weak. Don't be mistaken even for a minute to think that they are weak. They are not weak. Look at what has happened. They are boycotting your tourism. Oh my God, majority of the Canadians were the ones who are going to USA. Right now, they are boycotting tourism. They are boycotting your products. They don't want to buy your products. They're supporting Canadian products only. Only. They have made it very categorical. It's Canadian products only this time around. And they are not backing down. They are not backing down for anything or for anyone. God bless Canadian people every time.
That's how they vote in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
Let's
Well, you
continue.
play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play
continue.
right into their hands with this crap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But Mr. President,
you know why I got that? Because you have no credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
your
about
elections in this country. We're like a third world country. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know.
I've sat in the rain with you for an hour, on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr. President,
a country can never be great with a dishonest press.
We traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
That is Donald Trump for you. He doesn't want to be cornered by anyone. He doesn't want to be cornered by anyone. He doesn't want to be criticized by anyone. He doesn't want to be questioned by anyone. And when the questions are too tough for Trump, he retaliates into attack. Yes, he retaliates into attack. He tries to dodge. If the questions are becoming too much, he tries to dodge. And he tries to call those press garbage. He tries to call them all manner of names. Why? Because he cannot answer hard questions. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Donald Trump for you. Look at how he has failed. He has failed to answer these ladies' questions. When the questions are too much, too tough for him to answer, he retaliates and change it into something else. Ladies and gentlemen, he dodged the question and he tries to make it look like the people who are asking the questions are the ones who are wrong. And it doesn't work that way. You are the president of the United States of America. People must ask you questions all the time. People want to know answers. People deserve to know answers on what is happening and what is going on in the United States of America. They deserve to know everything. So why are you, attacking them?